This is Steve, KK4RVR from Waynesboro, Virginia. Today I'm doing a overview of the Anytone 5888UV dual band mobile transceiver. Now, just going over a couple of the specs real quick. It's a dual band 2 meter 70 centimeter with an expanded receive. Its transmitting ability is from 144 to 146 megahertz and 430 to 440 megahertz. Now, this thing in the manual, it has an EXP in it. I'm guessing it means expanded. So for its expanded, it says it can do 126 through 174 megahertz and 400 through 490 megahertz on transmit. I haven't tested any of it. I don't think I will. On the receive side, this is where I meant it had an expanded receive on it. It works from 100. It'll receive 108 to 180 megahertz, AM and FM. I haven't tested the AM receiving on it yet. I've tried to tinker with the setting a time or two, but I couldn't figure it out. If somebody else does, let me know. It also receives 220 to 260 megahertz, from 350 to 399.995 megahertz, and also 400 to 490 megahertz. So this thing has a ton of receive range on it, and I haven't even begun to scratch the surface on that. The power output on this radio, it's a full 50 watts on VHF and 40 watts on UHF. But you have 4 power stages: low, mid 1, mid 2, and high. So on VHF, going from low to high, you have 5 watts, 10 watts, 20 watts, and then 50. On UHF, low to high again, you have 5, 10, 25, and 40. My antenna that I currently have is a homebrew J-pole, and that one's not tuned for the 440 band, so I haven't really messed with higher outputs. But on the 2 meter band with just that antenna in this radio on 50 watts, I can hit receivers, I guess, or repeaters on the other side of the mountain that I live on, about 50-60 miles away, and still make the repeater and sound well. So I think, given the circumstances and the conditions, great. I have not tested it, but this radio does have crossband repeat. It does have dual receive. In other words, you have 2 VFOs on here, and I can receive 2 different frequencies or 2 different repeaters at the same time, and I can listen to them at the same time. It can get confusing, but you can do this. A lot of times I have my right side VFO on, like, say, the local police. I listen to that frequently. And then I'll have the left side on scan, which scans all of my repeaters that I have programmed into the radio. And it can do duplex, separate bands, though. I can transmit on 2 meters and still be able to receive a signal on 70 centimeters. You can turn this ability off so that when you transmit it mutes the other VFO, or you can just leave it on. But if you leave it on, it can cause confusion, background noise, all that good stuff. Also, on another point, to look at this radio, and I mean, that's just a picture on the box right there. It does resemble the Yaesu FT8800R, and I'll have an overlay probably at this point to show you. Now, this is what came in the box. Okay, first you had the radio, which we'll get to the radio later. The power cord. This one also came with the programming cable, and this is from the buyer that I got it from. Came with the programming cable, the software for it. Okay. Also comes with the head separation cable. It's just standard Cat5e. You can use anything. Side note, I have a 100-foot Cat 5 line running from a network switch in my basement to upstairs here at my computer. And I disconnected I just hooked the line up one end to the main unit of the radio, and I went downstairs with the head unit and microphone connected to the other end of it, and it still worked. Now, granted, any button press or anything, it sounded like it had some lag or some noise. I can understand from the length of cable. That's understandable. But the point is, it'll do it. How practical it is to do that, probably not very much so. The other thing that stood out when I ordered this one is it actually comes with the remote head mounting bracket. I haven't used it. I mean, I've attached it, and the way my desk is set up here, it's just easier to just have the radio mounted up where it's at, and it works just great. Now, coming up, next little section here, I'm going to have the radio turned on and just demonstrate some of the features that I've explained. Probably even try to do a few contacts, get signal reports, audio reports, all that good stuff, so that you can see it in use and get an opportunity to hear how it sounds and see some of the stuff that it can do. Alright, in this section, and I'm behind the camera, you can see my reflection in the screen here. Right now the radio is turned off, but and I apologize for the lighting. I only have the overhead light behind me, but I'm going to go ahead and power up the power supply. And remember, it's a 30 amp. The radio on the box, it says the maximum amperage that this radio would use is 30 amps, or not, I'm sorry, not 30, 15. And but I got a 30 anyways, just add some overhead to play with. I'm going to power that on. You might hear the fan. Just hit the power button. You can't see the screen too well, but I programmed it to where on this side, when I turn it on, it actually displays my call sign. Now right now, I have my right VFO on weather.
Southeast wind at 10 miles an hour. At Winchester, partly cloudy, 45 degrees. South wind at 7 miles an hour. At Petersburg, West Virginia, partly cloudy, 54 degrees. South wind at 6. At Washington, partly cloudy, 46 degrees. South wind at 12 miles an hour. At Elkins, mostly cloudy skies. It was 48. Wind south at 12 miles an hour.
Microphone here. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit this in very well.
South wind at 3. At Hot
this is your
mostly cloudy,
VFO select button.
Degrees.
And this shows you which one is selected, A or B.
At New York, cloudy skies. 37.
And then this set of lights up here tells you which one is receiving. Sorry for the focus. A or B. Now, we're going to have the 4 programmable buttons right here. Again, I apologize for the horrible zoom of my, or focus of my camera here. There we go. And I lost it again. But A, B, C, D. Now A means online for scan. So now, I can't see it. I'm trying to see if I can adjust this again.
Expected to build back into the area by Sunday evening and persist into early next week. Now for the official National Weather Service forecast for Charlottesville
now see,
and the surrounding KZZ 28
this one over here playing.
Tonight, mostly cloudy.
And I'm scanning on the other one.
40s. South winds tend to...
Now I should come across a signal here soon. Alright, now you can listen to both of them.
Morning, and I think I'm going to, what we say,
Friday night, cloudy.
Close the station down there, because I've made a lot of connections since 11 o'clock on Thursday night there, as you've appreciated, so I think I'm getting a bit tired there now, so John, I'll say 73 to you and your family, and also I'll pass you back to Nigel for the final, over.
And also this is where I mentioned earlier, you have dual speaker settings. Bottom knob on each side is the volume for its respective VFO. You also have the same set of buttons here for each one, like low sets mid 2, mid 1, high, and low. That's your power settings, and it does the same thing on both of them. VM, VFO and memory mode. So now I'm in frequency mode on this one. I can do the same thing with this one over here. And then hyper memory. I haven't messed with it, so this one requires a little bit more research, and like I said, I haven't messed with that. And then also you have scan, which is the same thing as the PA button on my handset here. Let's see, you have main on this, and then main on the other one. That's how you know which one you have selected. So I can have both of them scan. Well, I know I can. I've had it scan both of them before. There we go. Now I can have both of them scan. Now, here in shortly, in just a few minutes, I have a local net that runs at 10 o'clock nightly, and I might record that as well. And I'll use that for, just to demonstrate how other people actually sound when talking, and I'm receiving the same one on both of them. See if this one frequency that had some use going on here, see if there's anybody still on it. And yes, I'm using the probably can't see it, up and down. I'm using the selector buttons on the controller. Yep, here we go.
Are you still on now?
Another nice trick is the radio on the top side has its own speaker.
Just about to shut off, but I had to shut the radio off. I had the volume turned
The microphone itself
call
also has a speaker in it, and you can set it to where you can use both of them,
Yeah, this is Kilo Delta
or only one or the other.
X-ray. John, this is Mike.
Here we go. Hand speaker. You have on, off. Now that's main speaker, so this is only the microphone.
Yeah, that's affirmative.
Okay. Hand speaker off, that's just the one in the radio.
So was I back in Buffalo. And,
Or hand speaker on,
I was in the tax squadron.
and it runs both speakers.
Composite squadron.
And I saved
Out there
it.
in Tonawanda.
But I usually run both main and the microphone speaker. It gives you a good range. The hand mic has the higher pitch, kind of tinny sound to it, and then the one in the radio has the lower, it just has a lower range to it. And when I run both of them together, it fills it in. It sounds pretty good. That and I live in a house with kids, so that can sometimes get loud. So it also helps when I can just pull the microphone right up to my ear and still be able to make out what's going on without having to crank the volume up and blast everyone out of the room, because this thing can get pretty loud. I would turn it up, but I have individuals sleeping right now, so I don't want to make too much noise.
What, about the mid-70s maybe? Okay, yeah, you have a couple years on me. I was in from, as a cadet, from 1992 through,
And also, I have on my microphone here, on B, that's my power selector. Nice feature in this. The screen can change colors. Now I have the the Baofeng here.
For 40s. Sunday,
Oops.
partly cloudy.
Bumped it. I have the Baofeng UV5R Pro here, and that has 3 colors, but those are the only colors you get. With this one, you have color red, green, and blue, and it's a fader. Like right now, in the camera it looks bright blue, but in front of me it kind of looks like a deep purple. And again, this has got to do with my crappy, what was that on, 7? And yeah, on this it still doesn't look much different than the original. See if I can get it to refocus a little bit here. Yeah, it's like a real dark red. It's almost, in my opinion, it almost has an infrared look to it. I'll put it back on my orange. But you can do the same thing with red. Now it's green. I might leave it like that. And honestly, it is darker visually to me than it is on the computer screen here. But I do like that color. Okay, it's about 3 minutes until net time. Through the net, you might hear me doing some tapping on my keyboard. During this net, it's more or less just a rag chew. They usually do word games. Everyone, comments on their day, that kind of thing. And a lot of friendly guys on here. This repeater, according to a repeater book, I haven't actually been to the site, but according to a repeater book, it's only like 6 or 7 miles away from me. And I run low power on this one, 5 watts, and every time I've ever, just inquired about how the radio sounded, everyone come back to me and say it was loud and clear and full quiet to the repeater. So here lately, this repeater has been having some issues. And I'm getting some form of interference from time to time. I should be getting a full-scale signal, and then there's times where I only get about a half scale on it, and a lot of noise, and can barely understand anybody else talking on it. So that's interference on my end, because if I tune into this repeater on one of my I have a scanner over here, or my Baofeng HT, it sounds fine in the house. So my J-pole outside is picking up interference from somewhere, and it doesn't do it all the time, and so far it seems to be doing good for tonight.
Good evening and welcome to the Mountain of Peanut. Now it's 2 hours, put here at 10 o'clock p.m. on
See, this is what I mean by that distortion or interference.
My name is Jeff, the call sign is WD4VA. I am located in McGaheysville, where we have 41.7 degrees. I have a word game for display, hanging on word tonight is 7 characters long, all one word. It is a profession. And that will take checking.
KK4RVR. Yeah, I'm getting that interference on it tonight. It's hard to make them out. I can go on reverse, depending on the person, and I can hear them just fine. He just named off all the call signs by suffix. Asked for more in case you couldn't understand it.
You must have been the one Robert's with. recap on the word here. 7 characters long, all one word. It is a profession. And we'll start at the top of the list. KK4 RVR. Go ahead, Steve.
My turn.
KK4 RVR.
KK4RVR. Good evening, everyone on the net. Hope everyone had a good day. Mine's been pretty good. I just wanted to inform everybody that I'm doing a video recording of the net tonight. If anyone has any, if y'all don't want it done, then I'll kill the camera and erase it. But this is for my for the video that I think a couple of you may have heard me mention doing it, but I'm actually doing a overview or review video of the radio that I have. Because when I did my research before finding it, I couldn't find one in English, so I'm making one of my own. Hopefully it can help somebody else out. But I think that's about all I have for the moment. Let's go for the hangman word. Let's go S Sierra and pass it along. Let's see what comes out of it. KK4RVR, back to net.
Alright, well that's good. Good deal on the video. S Sierra, not in the word.
Oh, figures. Okay, pass it along. Kind of figured that with my luck, I wouldn't have gotten anything out of it anyways. KK4RVR. I know this guy can pick up on reverse.
WD4VA and the -2 network in Egypt. That's about as simple. Yeah, it was pretty. That sunshine was pretty, but that air was nipping.
That's on reverse. This is his actual signal I'm receiving. This is his signal going to the repeater. And granted, he's got some white noise in there, but the audio is a little bit more clearer.
Not in the word. He said that north, and we're going down here to Robert. KI4 EST. Sorry about that. Trying to stick on my notes here. Right down that word, multitask, and everything else.
This fella here has the same radio. And he's got I think he said he has one of the Arrow dual band 2 meter 70 centimeter J-pole antennas sitting on a tripod in his apartment. And he's only running his radio on, I believe, a 10 amp power supply, but he only runs his radio on low power. And he said so far that his radio is giving him no problems at all. He actually he enjoys it. He likes it. This is the reverse signal on this fella here, full scale. He's just on the other side of town from me, so. But then here's a perfect example. He's full quiet to me.
20 minutes. We're just late
but now with the interference of the repeater that I'm getting,
Everybody was bold. Turns out we're the last ones finishing. Maybe it's us, I don't know. Be safe for the word. In as in November. Well, that in November is not in the word either, Steve. Well, I might have to pick another letter. I'm not having much luck. So I will pass it on. Maybe somebody else will have better luck. Count 4 CGI. Back to the top list. KK4 RVR.
KK4RVR. Hello again, everyone. I now have, anyone can see whenever I get this video put up of this interference that I keep mentioning on the repeater from time to time. I can put an individual on reverse side and hear them crystal clear, but when I come over to repeater side, I can barely understand them. It sounds like I'm getting distortions, and just now I was watching the signal fluctuate from full scale to dropping 3 or 4 bars and getting real noisy. So I don't get that on the handheld in the house or on the scanner. It only, apparently I'm picking up something on my J-pole, and this is the only repeater that it does it to. I don't really understand that. So apparently somebody or something nearby is causing me some problems with this. Quick recap on the word here. I think I missed one of the letters not in the word. I have Sierra, India, Oscar, and November as not in the word. And U uniform in number 3, and E echo in number 6. I know I missed one somewhere. Back to KK4RVR.
There's a new alphabet also been guessed and not in word.
Alright. Now that I know not to go for that one. Let me try, oh wow. T Tango. See if I can keep up a streak of 0 in the word. And go ahead and pass it on. KK4RVR.
If that's what you wanted, not in the word. And you should pass it on. So we'll move down to race and the bird. K4MWT.
Kilo 4, Romeo, Victor, Romeo. Waynesboro, Virginia. Listening. Yeah, I know it's got a 20 to 30 second delay on the audio feed.
Kilo 4, Romeo, Victor, Romeo. Good evening. This is AE7I, Alpha Echo 7, India. Name's Craig, located in Reno, Nevada. I'd like to say hello to you. Hope you're having a good evening.
Good evening, sir. I'm sorry, I had a audio malfunction with my computer just now. It was AE7I was your call sign, correct?
That is correct, and the name is Craig. Charlie Romeo Alpha India Golf. Craig.
Good evening there, Craig. Name here is Steve, and I'm in Waynesboro, Virginia. I'm actually on the other side of a mountain from the repeater that I'm using here. It's about 25 miles away. Actually, I am honestly doing a YouTube video, like a overview or review of the radio that I have. in doing my research for before I bought it, I couldn't find any English-speaking videos that would describe the radio or even showed how it worked. So, it didn't show how it worked. So, I figured I'd do one myself, and I'm just curious to see how does my audio sound all the way over in Reno, over the IRLP.
Yeah, very good. K4RVR, this is AE79. Well, your audio is sounding good. You sounds like it's a pretty powerful, I don't know what the deviation is, but it's nice and loud, that's for sure, and very intelligible, not a problem there. So it sounds good. What kind of radio are you using? It's probably not one I've used if it doesn't have instructions well laid out, but I know that there's a couple of these Chinese-made radios out there that are quite cost-effective, yet do lack good instructions, as I understand. So you might want to let me know what you have there. Go ahead.
Hey Roger, yeah, it is one of the Chinese radios, but I will admit the instruction manual in this thing is good quality. I can sit here and I've read through it a couple of times and I keep missing stuff. This radio is featured packed. It's the Anytone 5888UV. It's a dual band 2 meter 70 centimeter mobile. It's it's a really good radio from what I've experienced with it so far. Like I said, right now I'm sitting in my house. I have it hooked up to a power supply on a homebrew J pole, about maybe 15 to 18 foot, off the ground, and I'm running 10 watts at the moment to the repeater. It's about 25 miles away from me.
Well, very good. Yeah, it does seem like the mic's a bit hot, but that may be the way I had my volume set up. Might be interesting if you have somebody with a analyzer or something like that. You can throw it on, just see what it's deviating. Also, there's so many connections between you and I with the IRLP that can make a difference too. So it seems maybe a little bit hot. That'd be my first impression comparing it to other stations I've been listening in on during my trip back. Well, very good, yeah. I've got a radio that is feature-packed, but it takes a while to get down all the different ways of accessing the features. So it's kind of nice that you're doing a YouTube video. I always find those helpful when I'm working with something, and I like to visually see somebody go through the steps. It seems to help me. I learn more rapidly that way than just reading it in a book. Oh, excellent. Yeah, I'm just a long day, just getting back from work here. Had a meeting this evening, and looking forward to getting home. I've got a few things I want to do amateur radio related when I get back home. So I've got about another 5 minutes in the truck, and then it's relaxation time. This is AE79 Mobile.
There's definitely nothing wrong with going home from a long day of work and taking it easy. I know that one all too well. As far as my microphone sounding a little hot, I just backed it off a little bit. That could have been my fault. I have a bad tendency to want to be right on top of it. The HT that I have is I have an HT here. It's one of the Baofeng UV5Rs, and that thing, you have to stay on top of it or else you're too quiet. So I had gotten in the habit of using that thing. I'm not quite used to this one yet, but yeah, if you're curious, this radio here, it actually resembles the Yaesu FT, I think the 8800R, I think is what it was. I have a picture of it sitting on my computer, but if you're interested, you can also take a look at my QRZ page, and I have pictures of threw some pictures up of my setup and a close-up of this radio. And hopefully after editing and everything, I might be able to have this video on YouTube and probably in the next day or two. And if you are interested and want to look that one up, just look up my call sign, Kilo 4 Romeo Victor Romeo. Just look that one up on YouTube, and you'll find my channel. I have will have two videos on there. It's one of them is a programming trick for the HT, and the other one will be this one once I get it put up. Over.
Yeah, very good. Well, I'll check it out when I get home. Yeah, I've thrown YouTube videos up, but they're probably not nearly as truly useful. I just do it for fun. I do nutty videos and some fun ones. I'm actually if I get time tonight, I'm going to piece together the final on a hike we took last weekend, a friend and I, or a couple friends and I. So we went up to, hiked up to a mountain nearby here, Peavine, and then went out to a nearby town and had lunch. So it was a nice 10 miles, about 4,000 foot vertical total climbing. So Monday and Tuesday this week, my quads were so sore. So I won't put that on the video. I'm not on it, but they are. Yeah, and I've got a video of the kind of the radio sites around here and some of the views from some of the mountaintop sites that a friend shared with me. So, check those out. And I've got some of those on my website at ae7i.com. So, good luck on the YouTube video. It sounds like you're making some very useful ones that'll help a lot of hams. That's excellent. Well, listen, I'm going to run. Remind me your name again. You probably told me, and it just didn't sink in, and I apologize for that. And you have a great evening, and it was nice talking to you. KK4RVR, this is AE7I Mobile.
Very good, Craig. The name here again is Steve. Sierra, Tango, Echo, Victor, Echo. Steve. Yeah, again, I'm in Waynesboro, Virginia. Well, yeah, I'll go ahead and let you go and say 7-3. I have your, I just pulled your website up, but then I'm kind of like you. I had to pop open one of my other tabs. I have an online logbook that syncs up with my tablet, my phone, and all of that. And so I punched in your call sign and hit the lookup button, and I had to. I admit I had to look at that page to remember your name. I'm horrible with names myself. So, well, it was a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for contributing to my video. And I'll probably I don't know how I would do it right now, but if I can find a way to do it, I'll contact you if you're interested, and let you know when I have that video up so you can take a look at it if you would like. So 7-3s, have a good night. AE7I from KK4RVR. I will be clear. Good night.
I would appreciate that if you finish that video. Send me off a copy or the link. Probably, I've got the A7I at ARRL.net, I think, still forwards to me. But also on my website, if you go to the contact me, there's a little page you can just put in information, just hit it, and it's got a secure way of sending it to me so I can get your information that way. All right, I'm here, I'm in the driveway. I'm happy as can be. I'm going in and playing radio. See you later. AE7I clear.
Well, I guess this concludes my overview and review of the radio. Pretty much, I'm not running on a script right now, so I might ramble. But I mean, this is a very good radio for the price. I paid just under just under $300 for this radio, and the shipping, brought it a little over. But I mean, for the price, saving $150 or so compared to, say a Yaesu or an ICOM or something like that. I mean, if you're wanting to save a little bit of money and not spend so much, I would recommend this radio. Even for mobile use. I have yet to test it in a mobile environment, but as soon as I can get an antenna put on, or get an antenna for my car, I'll give it a try sometime. But very cost-effective radio, feature-packed. I intend to do some more videos here in the near future, describing in detail some of the in-depth settings once I figure them out myself, programming, and all of the little quirks about it. But yeah, I'm sure you noticed I'm wearing a different shirt than the first part of the video. My recording spanned over like 2 or 3 days or so, just doing bits and pieces of it as I get time. But if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask in the comments, and I will reply if I have an answer. And if you enjoyed the video or liked any of the information, obviously subscribe, and I will do my best to put some more up here in the near future, just labeling some extra details and features. I'm actually excited and anxious to try out the crossband on it, the crossband repeat feature, because I have an HT here that can help me out with it, and this is the Baofeng UV5R. Yes, I like getting the cheaper stuff, and even this radio under $50. It's a very good handheld. This thing's been dropped on the concrete like 3 or 4 times accidentally, and this thing will take a beating and it still works great. But I hope you enjoyed, and hope this was helpful for you in any way. And as I said, comment, like, and subscribe. 7 3s from KK4 RVR.